Hello and welcome to Manuel Goes Racing, and today we're in rFactor2 having a look at the Q1 2023 update and the DLC that came with it. Now, at the start of February, about the 7th, there was a drop of GT3 updates, which was an update to the balance of performance, and I was going to do a quick video on it then, but when I tried the cars out, although they all seem to be reasonably close on terms of getting a lap time around Silverstone, some of the cars didn't handle particularly well, and they were a little bit interesting, shall we say. Now, since then, they did turn around a couple of days later and said, we really should put in some new default setups, and I was thinking, shouldn't you have done that before you dropped it? Because obviously, if you end up with changes to the car that are going to affect the handling, you really should redo the default setups at the same time. But it's taken them a while, but they have redone the default setups, and I've driven all of the cars. There's a couple that are a little bit sketchy still, nothing major. Things like the Merc, if you drop the back end down like 5mm and soften up the high-speed damping on the rear to stop it kicking off the curbs, it sorts it all out. The only one that's still a little bit strange is the Radical. I think that might need another look at, but to give you an idea of the sort of things they changed, these didn't apply to all the cars. These are just the list of all the different things they changed across different cars. So some are applied to some are applied to all. So they were doing like adding new TC and ABS systems unlinked to the TC map. So now it's got a lot of longitudinal and lateral slip, if I can say that, with cut and slip percentages separate. Added new GT tyres, added separate adjustment for rear brake cooling ducts, so now your cooling ducts are separate front to rear. Added gear shift protection, which is a bit of a double-edged sword, but we're getting rid of that. Added new sound engine, added tender springs, they're the separate little springs at the top. Added brake pressure smoothing, adjusted car inertia, adjusted roll inertia, engine inertia, adjusted centre of gravity. That's one of the ones that will have obviously made a bit of an effect on, along with inertia, the handling. Adjusted maximum packer stack, reworked suspension. Obviously that wasn't on all the cars, just a couple. I think that was the Merc mostly. Added mandatory stack of bump stops, which means less damper travel on the compression. Updated steering animation, again I think that was just on the Merc. Small tweaks to front wing ride height and rake sensitivity. There's only about one that's actually got adjustments for that. More aggressive downforce drop off from your rear wing and diffuser. That's the sort of thing that will cause you, if you start to get a little bit of a slide on, suddenly your little slide turns into a big slide if you don't catch it in turn, because as you get more and more out of line, your downforce drops and drops and drops, and of course that just means your little slide turns into a big spin. So you might need to do other things to compensate for that to stop it getting out of line so much. Like I said, they're all fairly good anyway, out of the crate. Updated, no, said that. Recalculated differential locks, recalculated anti-roll bars, adjusted rear springs, added TC and ABS lights to cockpit. So every car should have, I think it's yellow lights flashing now for when you're locking up, and blue lights for when you're spinning the rears. So that's ABS is yellow, TC is blue. Updated tyre materials to latest technology, plus 10 kilograms to the driver weight. I think that was across the board, so your driver just got fatter. Whatever. Bop adjustment, adjusted weight. I think every single car's got some sort of weight adjustment. And bop adjustment, adjusted engine performance. That's not applicable to all, but only to some. Like I said, I drove all of the cars and they all feel pretty good now, so certainly they're all in the ballpark. And around Silverstone, I admittedly only did 3 laps in each car. The spread was about 1.5 seconds between the fastest and the slowest. you could probably squeeze a bit more out of all of them with a little bit of work and driving a bit faster, obviously. But like I said, that was only if they're roughly in the ballpark, it's probably fairly close, and obviously only one circuit. You can't really tell, but not bad. Right, I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Am I going to sneeze? That's really annoying. Right, sorry, I'm not going to sneeze. Other things they've added. There's been some changes to the FFB. They've put various smoothing filters in for game pads as well. They've done all sorts of interesting things on that side. They've added the photo mode, and they've made some cinematic improvements. The photo mode works on the replay and live, and is best set up with a controller. Yes, that's what they said, not me. So yeah, if you're going to have photo mode, I don't know how useful it is. I know some people just love to take photographs of all their cars, but obviously if you're running it live, you might end up with a camera in a weird position. But for things like using it for free cam, quite useful. If you pause a replay, you can get to, you probably see when I'm getting there, the little camera icon to say go into the photo mode. I haven't played with it a lot, to be honest. Racing against unowned content. Now this is a biggie because obviously trying to set up a race where everybody has to have exactly the same content, because if you've only got like one GT3 car, you couldn't race against a field of GT3s because you didn't own all. So, which is a ridiculous thing to do. I assume this only applies to cars, not tracks, but which would, it's a swings and roundabouts job. You can either apply it to one or both, or either. I haven't looked into that much detail because I own all the content, so it doesn't really matter to me at the moment whether or not there is a, or you can't race because you don't own it, because I own it all. But the idea is basically you'd set it all up, and somebody with all the content would have to set up a little file that then gets transferred to the server or some such. So it's all a bit potentially a bit of a pain, but hopefully not too much of a pain, and it should allow more people to get involved in races without having to buy a shit ton of content. It also means you can have a wider class field, because more people will be able to join. If they say you ran an LMP2 plus GTE field, and only a couple of people have got GTE and a couple of people have got LME2, and there's very few with both, you'd be able to mix them all together, and hopefully that'll get more people involved. What else was there? Oh yes, BTCC boost feature. Now we're going to combine this with having a look at a new car. Now they've added, I think there might be more to come, but they've added the 2021-2022 Hondas, Civic Type R, obviously, to the BTCC field, which is means they're getting towards having the whole lot, which is good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. We'll just have a look in here first. Have a quick look, see what it looks like, see if I can remember how to use this damn thing. I always go the wrong way. I always want to move mouse forward to go close and back to go further away, and it's the other way around. So, there you go. Very pretty little car, nicely modelled. Still think it's a bit overly reflective in here, but whatever. Oop, bit too fast. Tyre selection, I think it's the same as I showed you before, where you've just got a choice of having an unrestricted set or only specific sets. But yeah, pretty little car. And we're going to go around brands like GT, and I'll try not to make a complete nut of myself. I don't promise anything. Now, as part of the updates for this, they've had a lot of changes in the physics to accommodate electric motors, which is what they're using for their boost in the 2022 cars. That's only in the 2022, not 2021. The boost, like I said, they've had to change the physics a bit, and they've had to change the push-to-par system to add timers and all the other things to it. It's, I presume this applies all the time, but time limit to full activations is 15 seconds per lap. Boost only enables for third gear onwards, so you don't get it on first and second, so you won't use it at really slow corners, which in some ways is an interesting choice. But there again, you're talking front wheel drive cars, and the last thing you want to do is chuck a few hundred extra horsepower at a front wheel drive car, or however much you get from these. It doesn't actually say. Boost remains active as long as the player keeps the boost button depressed. I do a maximum of 15 seconds, so you could use it all in one go. And a minimum delay of 2 seconds between activations. So if you accidentally let your finger off it and go for it again, nothing will happen for 2 seconds. And it will disengage once you cross the start finish line. So, interesting. Now, in the car, there should be, I'll just get rid of this. In there somewhere, there should be a thing that tells you how many seconds of boost you got. Whatever. But we're just going to drive a car around. Is my wheel out of sync? No. My brain's going, I'm sure that was out of sync. Right, have I got a boost button? Not that one, that's for sure. Not that one. No, let's pause. I don't know what that said. That's headlights. Right, first impressions. With cold tyres, there's a little bit of a torque steer, but very little. Your brakes ain't working, cold tyres. Now, I did back-to-back it for a couple of laps with the Ford Focus, and it's fairly similar in terms of feel. It's just going to take me a couple of moments to get my head around what it feels like, because I've just been driving something completely different. So, is that the boost button? Ah, there you go. It just says it's deactivated, so I don't know why it's deactivated. Maybe because I'm on an out lap. Well, there you go. Now it says I've got 12.9 seconds left, so just trying to see where it's. I thought it was meant to say it on the dash. Yeah, it's an atypical front-wheel drive car from if you've driven a lot of older front-wheel drive cars in terms where they, as soon as you lift off the back ends over there somewhere or over there somewhere, this thing's very, very neutral actually. You have to do something fairly stupid to get it to get the back end to step out a lot, so it is a nice neutral feeling car. Oops. Bit of a lock up there. It has a similar sort of feel to the other front wheel drive cars, and they go a little bit light under acceleration. So the front end feels a bit vague when you're accelerating, but it's not too bad at all. And the fact is you can trail brake in and they'll actually help the front end turn in, which is a little bit contrary to what I might have expected of older sims, other sims, where you sort of try and trail in, and what it does is just pushes the front. This actually turns in really nicely on the brakes. So overall, it's a really nice feeling car. It's very neutral, very easy to drive. Goes where you point it, when you point it. And overall, really nice. I'm going to press that button. Wrong one. I meant to press the other one. If I hold the button, if I cross the start line, it should go deactivate. I don't know, did it deactivate as I cross the line? I'm not 100% sure. It's quite difficult for me to read down here for starters. I'm trying to look where I'm going at the same time, and also my ugly mug's down here for my own personal enjoyment, so I can see what I'm looking at. But yeah, this car is really, really nice to drive. It's a great addition to the BTCC for the sort of completing the set, although I think there's 2 more to come, aren't there? I can't remember, last time I checked I think there was 3 cars missing, so. Excuse me, driving on grass again. I'm looking to see if it's actually got anything that tells you how much bloody time you got left. I can't see anything. Oop. Don't drive on the grass. It's quite nice sound now if you go on the grass and the gravel, you get all that clicky clacky noises as it's picked shit up on the tyre, which slowly fades off. Obviously you're telling your tyres are cleaned up. I don't know what sort of lap times I'm doing here. Not really trying to do a lap, just enjoying driving a car. So what did I do? I'm on 34. Let's stop messing about and try and do a proper lap. Bit wide. Even though the front end goes a little bit light on acceleration, you're not really drifting wide. It's still pulling around the corner all right. So despite the fact it feels like it's gone light and you might think it's understeering, it's not. It's still pulling around the corner nicely. So pulls you out the corners quite nicely. Don't know what that funny little fluttering noise is. Then again, the back end stepped out a little bit there as I was quite heavily on the brakes and turning in. But you really do have to provoke it to get it to step out at all, and it's so controllable. They really have done an excellent job with these BTCC cars. I don't think there's really a bad car in the bunch. That's more like it, 32-ish. So yes, another great little addition. Again, you have to buy it separately. Presumably there is a pack with all the BTCC cars that this has been added to, but great little car. The boost should help you with the idea of introducing it as an alternative to having this weird success ballast. They introduced a push-to-pass system instead, which was a little counterintuitive. Whether there's some weirdness on who can use it when, I don't know, based on where you are in the championship, but to replace a success ballast system with a push-to-pass, just like, not sure why, but whatever. So yeah, really nice little car. I'll put the replay up here if I remember to get around to pressing the button to record it. If you just go back a bit, have a quick look at what it looks like. On the replay, there should be up here a photo button. It doesn't pause though, which is like, the first time I tried it, I was expecting it to pause, and I'm like, what? So yeah, slightly strange. And then I think I had this problem before where it did something really weird. It said it dropped out of the bloody out of photo mode, and suddenly you're not following the car anymore. So I'm back in the garage. So yeah, it's something a little bit weird about that photo mode. It's definitely not quite right. So yeah, I don't know, because now it just says live. So hopefully I haven't just shat on the replay, because if I have, I'll be a bit annoyed. I suppose I better go and have a look, see if I can find the replay. Find the replay. Because yeah, it's a little odd. So you drop out of replay mode and you go into some weird mode. So shall I just have a quick load of the replay and see if we can get it to work? It's got two choices. But like I said, the replay mode, I'm not really a huge fan of photo modes that don't just pause you there and then. It's like, I don't see the point in having a photo mode that doesn't instantly go, right, pause, what's going on. Obviously, if you've got a photo mode and you're in a multiplayer scenario, it's about as much use as a chocolate fire guard if you're the only one that can do anything with it. So, right, so yeah, let's hit the photo button, and again it didn't stop. So very strange, and it's like if I exit the photo mode, does it? Oh, it's actually back with the car. At least on this one, it's back with a bloody car, because on the live one, it's doing some really weird things. So we'll actually pause it as we go around the corner, maybe. There we go. Now if we go into photo mode, should be able to move around, only like it said, you're best off with a controller, and I haven't actually set my controller up, so nah. Because all you're sitting about to do is go to that camera, and otherwise you have to start. Can I hit some buttons here? Yeah. Oh, that's no. I need to play with it a bit more. Like it says, you might be better off with a controller and setting it all up. I haven't bothered to set it up because I'm not really a photographing type person. So a nice addition, but I think it's something you will have to have a good look at before you start playing with it, because I haven't. So I just, why can't I exit the damn thing? Exit! Go on, buttons. Oh, that's useful. I seem to have got in a position where my mouse is fucking showing up again. Oh, I've had this happen before where suddenly my mouse disappears and I can't actually see what I'm bloody doing because my mouse has disappeared. I'll be back in a second. Right, that was annoying. My mouse vanished. Or at least my pointer vanished anyway, so My mouse is still there. Right, other new thing. Now, that was, I think it was four quid just to buy the car. The other new thing is Long Beach. Now, this is laser scanned. I'm wondering if they got a separate scan or whether somehow they got hold of the same scan that Simply Made Studios used. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to find out. And the other thing they've done is they've done a bit of an update to the stock car 2018X. I've got no idea what the difference between the Centennial, but I'll go with that one. Now, they've done a whole load of physics updates on this and changes, and they've basically come up with individual setups for all the different tracks. So not only do they have road course, super speedway and short track, they have individual circuit settings. So if you pick a particular circuit, you can go with whichever. Now, obviously, they've just introduced a new American track, and they haven't actually got a specific setup for that. So I'm trying to think whether or not these are actually all the courses that are in the NASCAR Infinity. Might be. But you now got sort of brake kits. I've got no idea what the inner liner is. So whatever. But I'm going to go with that, and I've selected the track already, haven't I? Yes. So we'll go and have a look round Long Beach. Now, like I said, Simply Made Studios went over to the States during the Grand Prix a few years back, and they did a complete scan. So whether this is based on that same scan data, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the curbing that's on various corners is there all the time. If you look on something like Google Maps and look at the satellite image, you'll see in the middle of a car park and there's a couple of curbs. So, don't know. I don't know if they leave them there all the time or not. So, some of the slow sort of initial section have got some interesting curbing. Now, this thing is a little bit... Now, see if I can remember how to get into free cam, and we'll have a... They've also updated all the shaders and everything on this car, so it actually looks quite nice, and they've redone all the interior, so it's really nicely done. The steering's a little bit heavy, but the modelling on this is really, really nice. See loads of detail on all the pit stalls and the pit stands, and my god, this thing's rough as guts. Lots of tinted press cover or whatever that is up the top there, loads of trees, birds flying about. So all in all, it's really, really nicely modelled. Ooh, little shadow. Should I try and get in a different position in the car? Oh, wrong button. No. Where's the best place to be? That's not too bad. Right. Shitloads of buildings, and all these things like the bridges over the top. Loads and loads of detail on all of it. The Ferris wheel's going round. Over there, somewhere, is the Queen Mary, and I have to say the detailing they've got on their Queen Mary is actually higher than SMS put on theirs. The SMS version, if you sort of zoom in on it, there's no portholes on the side or anything. This got all the nice windows and lots more detail, so I think they've actually put a bit more detail into that. So yes, and then the sort of whatever the hell that thing is. There's interesting little changes, like on the top of the curb there, there's like little bits on top of the curb on the SMS version, but they ain't on here. But other than that, the actual curb shapes are exactly the same. Without going around very, very slowly and literally taking a picture every 2 minutes or 2 yards or so and sort of checking out the differences, you can't really tell. The dolphin statue, all very nice. Loads and loads and loads of detail. I don't know how long it takes them to do this sort of thing, but lots of details. Again, this curb on the inside, there's all like little markings on top of it on the SMS version. In terms of the road surfaces, a little bit bumpy, but then it is a little bit bumpy. That hole in the fence is actually there as well on both as well. Again, these curbs, I think, are actually screwed in the ground. You can actually see the screw holes as you go over it. But nicely detailed. I'm not actually sure whether that's just a bit of art or what on that. It's really strange. Hello. Which flag are you going to wave? Couldn't make his mind up. That tree was a billboard that seemed to be revolving as we went past it. I'll have to recheck on the replay for that. But all the street furniture's there, everything's in place, and it's nice textured on the road surface with all the little bits of char in the gaps. I have to say, all in all, it's really, really nicely done. I haven't tried it at night to see whether or not everything lights up. Should probably try that, but it is, I think, probably, would I be right in saying probably the best circuit that they've come up with so far? I think that would be quite a fair assessment in terms of assets, the amount they've had to do and everything else they've had to put into it. It's obviously had a lot of work going into it. Now we come to the really difficult corner. Hello! It's one of those weavy wobbly things. This corner is a pain in the arse to get around. I can't see the inside of it. For those that have never been here, that's your pit entrance. And we'll just see if we can hit the right button to get back in the car. Is that the right one? Is that the one I want? No. I'll find the right button eventually. Oh, come on. I can't find the right sodding button. Why can't I find the right button to get back in the car? Oh, we'll just cross the line and then we'll go back to the pits and then come out again. I might cut that out, but yeah, there's your start finish line. So I'll just return to the pits and hopefully it'll come back in the right bloody driving position. That's better, thank you. A hell of a lot of movement on the steering wheel. It does annoy me though they put you in the paddock. Why are you putting us in the paddock? It's a perfectly good set of pits. Put us in the pits. The mirror might need a bit of adjusting. The car has no pit limiter, so I'll have to be a bit careful, but I have to say it's a really nicely done circuit. I'm just trying to remember how much it was. Was it £8? I'll have to look and double check, but I do believe that might have been a gull just flew overhead. It was a gull, not a gal. Right, no pit limiter, so we don't need to worry about it. And I've obviously got auto clutch on, so I'll have to. This thing's a bit over geared for around here. I could do with some slightly shorter gears. Oh. Quite easy to cut the track there. Well, I have to say this car is really nicely planted, so if you haven't tried the 2018X stock car, give it a shot because it is actually really nice to drive. He says overdoing it on the brakes a bit. I don't know if you noticed the squealing as it skipped across the tarmac or across the concrete. You could hear it chirp, 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 chirp as it was skipping. I mean, this circuit's actually got a surprisingly nice flow to it, apart from the last corner. Might brake a little bit earlier at the end of this straight. A little bit of front end push, but and a little bit of over rotation, but I have to say it's really is nicely sorted, this car. And like I said, this is basically just the default road course setup, so we'll do one more lap. I've got no idea what sort of lap time it was. Starting to push, so expect an accident any second. Back end's just locking up a bit more than the front there. But you can push the car and it's really responsive, does what you want it to, and to say they've sorted out really well. I do wish my PC had stopped fucking making those stupid noises, it's annoying. Yes, that's a really, really nice circuit, and actually this is a bloody nice car. They seem to really, really put some effort into getting this thing to work well. I don't know whether they're actually going to... I'm just trying to remember if the 2018X is also in this car ignition or not. If it is, and they've put all the same physics in there, that will be worth having a look. But yeah, that's really nice. We'll just I will do the usual replay. Sounds nice as well. Stop with the silly noises, computer. What are you doing? So yes, overall, I think I've done an excellent job on that. Both the circuit and on the updates for that car. So yeah, that's a really, really nice circuit. So what will work well around here? God knows. I mean, they obviously race IndyCar around here. I thought about running an IndyCar around here, but I thought I haven't tried the stock car and I have made some adjustments to it. So I thought I'd see what they've improved, and they have improved. It's a really, really nice car. Whether it'll be as nice around all the other circuits, I don't know. I can't say. I haven't tried it, but yeah, well worth a look. So overall, they made some nice adjustments to the GT3 cars. Oh, for Christ's sake, give it up, bloody computer! Stop doing it. And things like the racing against unowned content should help broaden the appeal a bit, and overall some nice updates. So well worth having a look if you haven't looked at rFactor2 lately. As far as the new track and a car goes, the BTCC car as good as all the rest, if not slightly better. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. But worth getting if you haven't got any of the others, because you've got a choice now, front or rear wheel drive and all the rest of it. And this excellent circuit, I think that'll be probably quite a favourite. It's I've had a few races around Long Beach, and they tend to be good races, especially if you don't choose a particularly fast car to go around it. So I wouldn't choose the AC Cobra though. I did try it, and that's a bit of a handful around there. So, but for me, for now, that's all. And have fun, enjoy racing. I will see you soon. Goodbye. Where's my button?